decided that I'd like to lose some weight, 10 pounds, so I could get back into my slacks again. And so the doctor gives me a prescription for diet pills. Again, he gives me the prescription, and I asked him, you know, what'll it do? I always ask him what'll happen, because I do like to know if there are going to be side effects, whether I should drive or something. And he just said it'll just make you so you won't want to eat. So I took the pill in the morning, I guess before breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then, of course, I went to bed, and I just lay there like that. And then even if I did doze off, I was awake like that to see what time it was, and it was maybe 10 minutes later or something. So the next day, I just took one pill in the morning. And then, oh, here you're supposed to lose weight, and instead it made me thirsty. And so then before I went to bed, I'd have to have a big dish of ice cream to quench my thirst. So there go the calories back again. And so even that one pill that I took that morning, I still couldn't sleep. The next morning, I took a half a pill. I still couldn't sleep, and that was just it. No, it was not it, because I don't like wasting things, and my daughter was going off to school, and so I gave the pills to her.
Well, like, if you get, like, the way I get, when I get down, I get to a certain point, you know, like, I get to a certain point now where when I gotta close one eye to look straight, I know that I'm, you know, messed up enough, so I know I'm down, but, like, you know, I don't want to get no more worse, you know, because I already OD'd once.
I was paranoid about my husband and made several elaborate and very serious plans to kill him, which someday still may take place. I got him shot at twice and got him to attempt suicide once. And I was just on this heavy murder thing. I was going to kill my husband. My old man, who's been shooting speed for 8 years when he hasn't been in a joint, he has paranoid delusions. I mean, people that aren't there, voices that are telling him to do things, people putting things in his food. I mean, he's clinically, you know, insane. And the paranoia and the insanity vanish when he comes down. And when he's not loaded, he's, you know, he's a really delightful, very brilliant cat.
Well, the barbiturate was like, you used to go into a pool room or someplace, and somebody used to be dealing them to you. I used to take maybe 10 or 15 of them and just be jacked up, and I'd be walking out here, and I might walk into a bus, you know, no telling what I might do, because I'd be so jacked up, and I have no fear with me at all, so I might just do anything. I went to sticking up people, and I was just taking them just to get high, because I like the feeling. Were
they easy to get, brother?
Yeah, it was very easy to get. I mean, you would go into restaurants, a hamburger shop, anybody would have some jumpers. You know, that's all you wanted, something to make you, you know, get up off it. But this is in Detroit. This is back east.
Like I dropped 4 starting out, man, and an hour later I wasn't coming on to them. And then I dropped 4 more. And then finally all of the shit came down real quick, like, and I was totally righteously messed up. And, like, I had to sleep, I slept in my treehouse that night because I knew I couldn't go home, man.
Like, it has us so far away from the reality of the conditions we live in and why we in that position, you know? And then when we begin to, like, come on down away from that and get in touch with reality and see the things that we got to do to better ourselves as individuals and as a community, well, then we begin to find out that we can't be effective in that function under the influence of drugs, because you can't be doing any kind of constructive work on the planet Earth and your mind is way up in space somewhere.
Well, it started when my wife of some 10 and a half, 11 years, one morning told me she wanted a divorce, you see. And it surprised me. So I couldn't cope with it, so I had to start to have a breakdown. I went to the hospital for a couple weeks, and when I came out, I was, you know, wasn't feeling all good, couldn't work too well, so I went to my doctor and asked him for something, and this combination of methamphetamine and phenobarb was what we came up with, you see. I kept taking it, and 2 or 3 tablets a day, usually 2 I started off with, you know. And it ended up, say I was around averaging 15 or 20, and some days taking as high as 25. I told him that I thought I was taking too much. He said, well, maybe right. So he put me, gave me a prescription for something else, which is a mood elevator, but it's one of these things that takes 10 days, 2 weeks to work, you see. And by the end of the 3rd day, I was about to go out of my skull. So I went back and told him this stuff isn't working. Well, he said, we'll go back to the original then, and he said, you don't have to worry about overdosing. He said, there's people that take 100 times if that's what you do a day, you see. And maybe they would once, but they wouldn't twice. But so sick I couldn't hardly walk. My tongue was thick, reeled and staggered whenever I went. I finally got so sick that I went to a psychiatrist. And he took one, I was just walking his, I wasn't in his office 10 seconds, and he told me to go to the hospital and get withdrawn, that I was very toxic and in danger of convulsing and dying. You see. So I did.
And you kicked.
Hmm?
And you kicked.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't too hard. I'd been expecting a bad scene, you see, right then. But the withdrawal itself, there was nothing to it, and I patted myself on the back, and it was about 3 months later before withdrawal really hit me. And I just went all to hell. Just real panic, irrational fear. I was scared to death of something. I didn't know what, you know, and I knew it was bad. That's all. Something bad was going to happen. And I was afraid I'd lose my mind. I actually felt like I was. So I went back to the hospital. This is the county hospital I went first. Went back there. I'd been out about 2.5 months. And I was in about another 10 days, and I got out of there, and I was out about 2 weeks or so. And same thing happened. These feelings come over me anytime, day or night, wake me up sometimes out of sleep, you see. And I went back in a 3rd time. That time I was only out 1 day.
I get high because I like to get high, you know. There's no really special reasons, you know. Some of the reasons, you know, may be problems at the house and everything, but like, I really don't have any problems at the house. You make your problems at your house, you know, so, you know, you can't use drugs to, you know, take away your problems and shit. You just use it as a pleasure to relax.
I started shooting methamphetamine because I was on the street working every night, and I couldn't stay up. I'd go to sleep, and I'd be tired all the time. So I would shoot 2 or 3 jugs in the morning, you know, and it would make me stay up. And
Excuse me, sister, what you mean working on the streets every night?
I was prostituting.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Right on.
And to stay up, I would shoot methamphetamine. And I started losing weight. I done got it back now, but I was small as hell one time behind shooting it. My teeth got rotten, and, you know, so forth and so on like that.
So what?
So I stopped shooting it, you know, and then I went, my mind just, one night, it just, how you say it, I just went out. My mind just went away. It was blank.
Right.
I woke up, I was in Highland Nut Ward. What's that? D1.
Coma.
I was crazy.
You was loco.
I was loco. Through my window, I seen elephants, and I was sitting in my bed roaring, and crocodiles was jumping up at me.
Oh, you was in the DDT?
And big old elephants and things were coming at me, and I couldn't stand no people around me. I couldn't stand for kids to talk to me. I didn't even like to go around my family anymore because that's
this
what
man
is
doing something to you.
So I decided I just stopped using them, you know. I started using something a little heavier. Started using heroin then. And I shot it about 10, 11 years. And I got a good husband, and he was sending me a lot of money, and I was shooting it all up and wasn't having nothing. And I still don't have nothing, but it's starting to get a little more now than I did have. It's got a little more sense now since I stopped using it.
Like, I hadn't done too much into drugs, you know, before I went overseas. I did a little bit of pot and a little bit of speed. which more or less was beans. And I didn't get into drugs real heavy until Vietnam, which they had liquid speed over there in little bottles, and it was very economical and very cheap. And the first thing I encountered overseas was Ritalin. They used to give them out in a bunker line during Red Alert. We were inside of a fire base, and we used to go out shit in all the time. My first 3 days over there, it was right after Tet, and it was quietening down. But my first 3 days over there, my third day or fourth day, Benoit got hit, and they started handing out Ritalin.
It being frightened and everything, you'd take them, so you didn't want to be falling asleep, but yet you wanted to sleep, and then you were afraid to sleep. And this was really a heavy trip because it gets really strung out. You know, your mind functions so fast and your body gets so worn out, but yet you keep on going, you know. And these guys keep passing them out.
For sure.
And you just can't get away from them, you know. After you get strung out on them suckers, you just keep on.
I'd quit taking them, man, because I'd get sick. I couldn't eat. I couldn't even drink water, man. So, I was just so tight and dried up. And when I did crash, man, I got it to crash for one night, and I was up the next day dropping more Ritalin to stay on these red alerts.
And then when I got out of the service, I just continued on, and I got to the point where I was losing family and my wife and my son, my house, and my job and everything, you know, and I just couldn't handle it anymore. So I came down asked for some help from VA.
And I look back on my whole 2 years in the Army and my whole year and a half out, and I haven't got a goddamn thing to show for it, man. Not even a cent, man. And all my money went for drugs when I got out, you know, and everything. And
I got my good conduct medal.
There it is. I got my Vietnam service medal.
And hell, I used to go through a case of beer, you know, and just myself, just one right after the other, and my wife started wondering, you know, wow, what's wrong with you, you know? Are you an alcoholic, you know? But I wouldn't be drunk, you know? She'd go, you sure are consuming a lot, you know? And I said, yeah, okay. And then I start coming down between the alcohol and the barbs. I'd just flip out, you know, get really violent type. And I didn't mean to, but it was just the idea of your head being spaced. And the really thing that really, I think, scared me the most, though, was, I'd forget everything, you know, a lot. I wouldn't know, you know, what the hell I did the day before, and all I could just think of is, wow, where am I going to get my next, you know, bunch of beans so I can party, you know, and drink. But the reason why I came here, though, is just I saw myself in the past 3 years. I just flashed back in my whole life. I was losing everything that I've worked for. And actually, my wife, her and I talked, and she was getting a divorce, and I have a son 3 years old. And I'm not, you know, I'm getting to be 25 years old, and I haven't been going anywhere, you know.
I was dropping dexedrine and bennies and methadone in the beginning, and the tension and anxiety produced by the stimulant made me want to come down in a day or 2 days, however long it took, and I started taking barbiturates to come down off it. And then I started shooting speed, and got to be pretty heavy, so I'd start taking more barbs, and then I started shooting barbs, you know. Oh, I'd never do less than 3 to start with. As my tolerance went up, I did up to 10 or 12 at a time. Shooting that many reds, 10, you naturally fall out for a period of 10 minutes to a half an hour. You get up, you're groggy, uncoordinated, generally screwed around, and shoot some more. You shoot that many barbiturates, you fall out. I used to put a pillow on the floor because I'd fall on the floor. The first couple times I hit my head. Just escaping from reality. Whatever pressures I had at that time, or things that bum tripped me.
And I got so that I just couldn't go to sleep at night. And I mean, for hours, I would just be lying there awake and wanting to go to sleep, and it's very frustrating, and then besides, you're tired the next day. And so I must have just asked my doctor for some sleeping pills. and I think I was taking Seconal then. So that helped, but the only trouble was that after a while, I found that one wasn't enough, and I had to take 2.
Well, first thing, went to Redwood Park with a partner of mine, and I got 10 reds, 10 Mexican reds up there, and I did all 10 of them. And then my partner copped another bag, and we were handing them back and forth. And then my partner handed me 4 of these giant-sized number 3 caps, like mescaline caps, big ones, full Lily F40 Seconal, pure Seconal. And I did all 4 of them. And I thought maybe they were equal to the capacity of, say, maybe 2 or 3 reds a hit, you know? But they were equal to 5 or 6 reds a hit. And like they dropped me off at my house, and my car was parked in the driveway, and I looked, and it wasn't there. And I start running, I go, son of a bitch, someone stole my car, man. I wham, right into it.
You're so loaded, you don't know what you're doing. Actually, it's the other stuff talking, you know. You don't think that, you think that you're doing the talking, but, you know, like the next day you say, oh, did I do that? Did I do that? And so one day it might be too late. Like, I used to drop reds all the time, 3 or 4 reds, me and my partner, and hey, I thought it was out of sight, you know, a quick high, you know. I don't have to drink all that much. 15 minutes, I'll be high. Then my partner, he's gone now, grew up with him all his life. Now, and the doctor could have saved him. You know, he got in a fight and all this, and he got knocked unconscious, but them reds just took over. You know, he was unconscious, and it was, you know, his mind was dead. He just never came out of it, you know.
It's just a state of psychosis that I think the drug, I don't know. I don't know the actual chemical process of it, but I heard that the alkaloids take something like a year to 2 years to just filter out of the system completely. That it takes longer than stuff to just completely get rid of, and the nerve endings have to grow back, you know, all their insulation, and that while kicking it isn't immediately as hard, the process of regaining, you know, your full components and have everything going, and it's a long, long thing.
But I don't worry about having sleeping pills in the house as far as one of the children taking them, because if it were the uppers, I can see how they might hear about it and be interested. But it just seems to me that they wouldn't be interested in going to sleep, taking them, and even though it does have this little pleasant effect for a while.
Oh, real good. I was floating about that far down from the ceiling, just wafting along. Yeah, it was very...
And then I wrote the term paper and words. You know, I was just really good. I was always a good writer, but it just, you know, I just felt like I felt like a genius. I really.
Oh, like if I feel something for a chick, and it's hard to come out when you're straight, you know what I mean? But you could say it when you're loaded. You don't give a damn, man.
Before we get out of bed in the morning, we had this tray that lowered from the ceiling, like it was you know, you wake up, you get off, you get out of bed, and then like anything you had to do, you had to get off before you did it.
And like it's, you know, dark, gloomy, and nothing's, you know, happening. I say to myself, well, you know, maybe I'll drop a few goofers, you know, and get loaded, you know, walk around and wobble for a while.
I had a second prescription of diet pills.
After the first?
Yeah, after the first.
What was
Same trip.
What happened there? Did you try them again?
Yes, they were different color. And I told them that the other ones, I couldn't sleep. And so I said, all right, here's another one. These will be fine. Same trip, exactly. Only this time I only took 1.5 pills before I knew. Again, I gave them to my daughter, not to waste money. And I really don't know what happened to her, but when I think that how I just gave those things to a youngster, well, she was about 16 at the time, but if I'd known that those things were so bad or habit forming, I would have flushed them down the toilet.
Check, check, testing, 1, 2, fuck it. Alrighty, here I am. Good morning. What's going on? I'm just happy to be here. Happy to be alive. Right? Oh man, what a day yesterday. I haven't had a day like that in a long, long time, and I don't want another one. Way too much pain and depression yesterday. I was in a hella bad situation. Oh, I got up from a nap that I wasn't able to take. I was just struggling yesterday. And I got up, and the next thing you know, I'm looking up from the ground, looking up at my wife. She's reaching down to help me up, and I'm like, what the hell? Yep. So I'm back to using my cane. Just walking around the house. I'm kind of staggering this morning, but I'm trying to avoid having to take the cane with me to go back and forth to the kitchen. It's just ridiculous. Speaking of back and forth, I have my coffee cup warmer here this morning, but I had to steal my extension cord. My van's battery is out in the van, and I had to run extension cords out to it yesterday, so it's still plugged in. I let it charge overnight because it was dead. So I'm going to go out there today, hook up the battery, and start it, and see what happens. Of course, the check engine light will probably come on again, and we'll have to see what the hell. But I'm here. I made it. As much as I tried to talk myself out of it last night. I'm here. That's all I will admit to. That's it. That's all I'm going to admit to. Well, it is like day 21 of missing Joey here. He's out there somewhere. I know he's busy. And he probably is not feeling great either. Yeah. Man, I was not feeling it yesterday, and I'm still not with it today. I had to pull out every trick in my fucking arsenal last night just to go to sleep. And I was up 3 times. I got up no less than 3 times in like 4 hours. So, what a bummer. What a bummer. It is Throwback Thursday today, so we are gonna, did I say throw up? Yeah, we are going to, at some point, look at this other typewriter that I haven't looked at yet. It's a typewriter that I bought at a thrift shop months ago, and I haven't even opened it. I think I opened it when I bought it to look in and see what was there. And I was like, ooh, it looks good, looks complete, looks clean. I'll take it. And that's how I brought it home. I just decided, hey, I'm going to adopt you, you little typewriter, you. And I did. And I brought his little ass home. We've also got to look at the TV guides for this week today. I have them here. So there you go. I am going to go ahead and pull over this typewriter here. My goodness. Ooh-wee. It's a beaut. It is a beaut. It's heavy, like all old portable typewriters, but it's really, really clean. Okay, man. There we go. Just do that. And there it is. It's a big old suitcase looking thing, right? So we just squeeze it, pop it off, and then it hinges back. If it hinges back far enough, the whole top will pop off. I don't want to knock Snoopy over. Or my other crap. There we go. And this one does not come loose. This is weird.